All right. Hello and welcome to the first edition of Getting to Know the Coaches. I'm Thomas Witty, and today I'm joined by the head coach of the women's soccer team at Monmouth College, Coach Nick Rizzo. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm good. So, Coach, give us a little background on you, where you're from, where you went to school, and how you ended up at Monmouth.
Yeah, for sure. So I started off, I'll try to keep this short. I know coaches are chatty, and I'm definitely one of them. But I started off, I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, which is the southwest suburb of Chicago. Went to high school at St. Francis, and then went and played my college soccer at Loras College up in Dubuque, Iowa. And for me, it was a really good fit. It was very similar to Monmouth, where it was a smaller school, like where it was in a decent city, Dubuque, and I really enjoyed my experience there. And so played 4 years of college soccer there. And then fortunately for me, when I got there, guys soccer for high school soccer is in the spring. And so I played my college soccer season my sophomore year, and one of the captains on the team took over a local high school team called Wallard High School, which is actually where my fiance went to school. I never knew her back then, though. And then asked me to be his assistant. And Matt Pucci is still the women's coach at Loras now. And I started coaching my sophomore year. And then after he graduated, he left, I became the head coach going into my junior year. Senior year, and then my first year after, I was a high school varsity head coach. And then after that, I immediately went to Aurora University, got my graduate assistant job there as an assistant for the men's program. And I coached a little bit of club when I was out there. And then after my 2 years of my graduate assistant was done, I got hired as the men's and women's assistant up at St. Mary's University in Winona, Minnesota, which is like on the southeast corner of Minnesota, but in the MIAC, which is a good conference, and it was good exposure for me. And then did that for like 3 seasons, but about 2.5 years. And then this job opened up in December of 2015. I applied, accepted, and my first day at Monmouth was January 4th, 2016. So about 4.5 years ago now.
Nice.
Yep. That was as quick as I could do that story.
Yeah. Who has been the most influential person in your life, either in terms of coaching or just you being you?
Yeah, I would say a few people. Number one, and this is really cheesy, but my mom. I've always been a mama's boy for sure, and I love my dad to death too, if he sees this. But I've always been very close to my mom, and she was the one who got me into soccer. My dad never played soccer. My dad was more basketball and like some of the other sports I played. And I don't know, I just like with her, it was always really cool because when me and my sister, who's a year younger than me, were born, my mom like quit her job at the time to take care of us for about 5 years, opened up a daycare center. And then as soon as she was done with that, she went back to work and kind of climbed her way up. And now she's a CFO of a pretty big company. And it was just kind of cool because like it just proves that like hard work and being persistent and everything gets you to where you want to go. And so I would say that she's a big mentor for me. In regards to soccer, my college coach, Dan Rothard, who coached at Loras for 20 plus years, was a really big influence for me. I wouldn't even necessarily stay on like how our teams play. Like our team at Monmouth plays very different to how Loras plays, but I think just in how competitive he was and the standard that he kept us to every single day, where we were expected to win national championships. And we never did when I was there, but like we went to 2 Final Fours, and it was just like the expectations and the competitive nature of every single day in training. You knew you were fighting for your spot. And I think that's something that I really took away, not only in like coaching, but also in the way I want our teams to compete.
What do you think makes Monmouth College unique from other schools in the Midwest Conference and across the region?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the number one thing I get from recruits when they get here is how surprised they are. I think most people look at Monmouth on a map and like you see Google Maps and it's just like a little small town, kind of not near any major metropolitan areas, but you get here and you're standing. I had a recruit on campus yesterday, and she's like, I was standing in the middle of campus, and it just felt like home. It felt like a place that I could live for 4 years. And I think that makes us really unique. I think especially within the Midwest Conference and a lot of schools, I think we're very blue collar too. I think there's a very I think there's a reason that we're successful in a lot of sports across the board. It's just, I think we kind of have that really gritty, like grind, blue collar nature. And that's something that we really take pride in with our women's soccer team. Like I always joke, like 2 years ago, and I don't know if I get in trouble for saying this, but like when we went up to the conference tournament, we like every team was rolling up there in like really nice buses, matching uniforms, everything. And like we roll up in our 3 vans, and like we all like kind of wearing like a hodgepodge of different things, but we also won that game. And so it's kind of, and we've gotten a lot nicer stuff now. Neil hooked us up, the equipment manager shout out. But it was funny because it was just one of those things where like it doesn't matter what you're wearing, like where you're from, things like that. All that matters is what you put on the field and what you leave there. And so I think that that's always been a cool thing for me at Monmouth is we just get kids that are good, hardworking, blue collar kids, whether they come from super rich backgrounds or whether they come from a different, poorer socioeconomic background. Everyone comes with this mentality that we're going to grind and compete, which is, I see that across all sports. I see it with you guys in baseball. I see it with football, women's basketball, all these other sports that have been really successful.
Give us your favorite moment or memory coaching at Monmouth College.
Oh man, that's tough. I would say, I probably have to say winning the conference championship this year for the first time in school history. It was pretty special. I think the special part for me with that was when I got hired, this group of seniors was my first recruiting class, the one that just graduated this year in 2020. And they were taking a shot on a coach that had never been a head coach before, hadn't even really coached women for that long. And to a program that like it had success in like the early 2010s, but the 2 years before I got there were like 5-13 and 6-12. So they were taking a big leap of faith. And for me, it was kind of cool to let them be the ones that get to hold the first trophy that we've ever won. I think that was probably, I remember like after we won, probably like my favorite moment of the whole thing was we're in the PKs and Kenzie makes the save and all of our players run out to the field. And as like a coach, like you got to keep your like professionalism at all times. So like, I'm like holding everything in and like I walk over to the other coach, shake their hand. And as me and my assistant Reese are walking back and I literally turned to her, I won't swear on it, but I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. And so that was pretty cool. Just watching the team celebrate and just kind of getting to sit there with Reese and just kind of watch them be really, really happy. It was pretty cool. I mean, I remember back when you guys won yours, and I actually was the one that like filmed it. I have like a great video of it. But just again, same thing, just watching you guys getting to pile on your picture and stuff like that. Like it's just, those are the moments that are cool just to see how happy everyone is.
What's your favorite sport other than the one you coach?
It's a good question. I would say I'm a big hockey fan. Blackhawks haven't been good for a while, but I love watching the Blackhawks. Me and my mom, that's kind of like a bonding thing that we do together. We typically go to about 2 to 3 Blackhawks games a year. And I mean, they haven't been, last game I went to, I think they lost 6-2 or 6-1. So it wasn't pretty, but that was also like for us, it was a really cool time in college because Laura's a ton of Chicago suburb kids. And so back when they won the first one and a few of the other ones, like I was kind of like in the perfect age to like experience that. Like I was able to be at college and have beers with my friends and watch the games and stuff like that. So I'd definitely say hockey's my other one. I love watching college basketball, and there's definitely other ones that I enjoy. But I would say, like, if I had to pick, Liverpool is like my number one team, but like for anything. But if I had a second favorite team, it would probably be the Chicago Blackhawks in those games.
All right, last question. If you weren't a coach, what would you do?
Oh God, be unemployed. No, that's a good question. I don't have a lot of skill sets that are employable. No. I tried teaching. I didn't love it, to be honest. And I say that, and I teach classes at Monmouth. I don't mind teaching college kids. I hated teaching junior high. Those kids are just the perfect age to be a big pain in the butt.
Yeah.
If I wasn't coaching, what would I do? I don't know. I majored in mathematics, which is, I don't use that at all. So thanks, parents, for helping me pay for college and getting a degree that I don't use at all. I don't know. I would probably say like some form of like personal training. I don't know. I think like consulting too. Like I think I wouldn't mind doing a job in like consulting. Like I love the leadership aspects, the teaching aspects, and like working with groups of people. So maybe some sort of consulting. I don't know who would pay me to do that though. So I don't know. I might be broke. So hopefully Coach Haynes don't fire me because I don't know if I have a backup plan right now. But I would say something along that line, like something in the teaching, leadership, coaching, like other people realm of stuff.
All right, Coach. Thanks for chatting with me today.
Absolutely, Thomas. Have a good rest of your day, and let's just keep grinding away at all this.
Thank you. This has been our first edition of Getting to Know the Coaches. Thanks to Coach Rizzo, and roll Scots.
Roll Scots.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Have a good rest of your day, Thomas.
Yeah, you too.